How about a little bit of reality recap?
Let's do
You
it.
ladies ready for this? Last night, this is like the Super Bowl reality shows, in my opinion. It was the season 11 premiere of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I mean, they're the deal, right? Of all of them, they're like the most coveted, at least in my opinion. It's a great show. It's got the most staying power. And some familiar faces return, and others were noticeably missing. So let's start things off with the OG of Atlanta, Nene Leakes. Since last season, she's been dealing with her husband's health issues as he copes with having cancer. And here's what Greg had to say about his experience.
Writing that note was the hardest thing I ever did in my life. But you never know what's in you until you're at that door. Never thought I had it in me to fight cancer. Now, I'm gonna beat cancer. That's what I'm gonna do. You have been my light. I couldn't do this without you. I couldn't, I wouldn't even try. So I want to thank you, baby.
Oh, I got chills watching that.
That's what family is. Like, that's what a relationship is being there for each other. And, you know, sometimes it takes these really serious matters to make you realize it, but it's like that she's by his side, and that makes him want to fight that much harder.
Greg's become, to me, obviously, with battling this, but one of the most lovable characters of, you know, one of the side players, meaning he's not the focus, he's the husband. And their relationship is so uniquely special in terms of how she stood by him. He's the yin to her yang. She's the big personality. He sits there and plays to the side and sits there and enjoys her being the show. And now he's getting a lot of love for his fight here, and everybody's kind of rallied behind him and cheering. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, well, I think you can appreciate this because there's a lot of drama, a lot of craziness that happens on shows like this. But to see them come together in a real moment, like, I don't think that was, you know, of course they ended up getting everyone to meet at the same time for cameras, but you could see that's real raw emotion.
No question. And you need to sprinkle a little bit of that in. When you got all the ratchetness that we celebrate and talk about, it's nice to see.
It's also the reality of life. Things like that happen.
All right, we also caught up with Candy. She's trying to balance her family life along with getting the group back together. That's right, Escape's trying to do the dang thing. And last night's episode, the discussion of another baby was brought up. Not everybody was on board. Her daughter Riley was very vocal. She basically said, look, you are hardly around the kids you have already. You ain't got time for more kids.
But see, here's the thing, because clearly she's grown up in a privileged household, because her stepfather, Todd, he chimed in and said, yes, but look at the lifestyle that we live. True. So if you're going to be working hard, then something has to give. Like, she was she was kind of shaming them for being workaholics.
Yeah, and I guess is that fair? Like, at the end of the day, Todd, who, by the way, Todd's also stepped into a lap of luxury in his own right here. So he's been the beneficiary of that in his own right. But I don't think that's the right response coming from Todd. A, they're not his kids, but B, also for him to say, yeah, but you got a lot of money. I don't think that's the right response to be saying. Those kids need love. And if Riley's saying that, then I think that's worth listening to. Yeah. Another real life conversation that's going on in the show. They came out of the gates with some hard hitting stuff in episode 1. So Cynthia Bailey.
Relationships too.
Yeah, right. Cynthia Bailey, who's my favorite on the show, returned to the show with a new man who is in the profession that I also have as well as a sports broadcaster, Mike Hill. He works at Fox. He does a great job. And on Steve Harvey's show back in April, that's where they met. Later, Cynthia took to Instagram to reflect on the meet cute. The two have been together ever since.
Aww. So I love this. Here Cynthia is after age 50 and dating again. And you know the guy. Is he a good guy?
He's a great guy.
Give us the scoop.
Give us the inside scoop, Jordan.
I don't know him to that degree, but he's definitely one of those sports anchors who carries the show. Very charismatic, very professional, well-respected across the board.
But what did he tell you about her?
Yeah, would you
give us the scoop?
Would you want your friend dating him?
Yes. But here's my question for you.
He's a good guy.
But here's my question for you guys. You've seen him. He seems overmatched, and look, this is superficial, but in the looks department, they don't truly fit, I feel like. Cynthia is this beautiful goddess.
I feel like that doesn't matter after a certain age. Okay. I feel like even at our age, looks don't matter as much.
I agree.
Maybe when you're
He's not
in
an ugly
college,
guy. I don't want to
high school, early 20s. I just don't think people now worry about that as much. People know they need love.
I just want my Cynthia to be happy.
She's also a supermodel, so it's like
who's really competing, right?
Oh, we don't have too many people we can date.
Well, people She says. So modest, Felicia.
All right, so the newest housewife and former America's Next Top Model winner, Eva Pigford, is still growing her family. Unfortunately, her fiance did not win the election in Atlanta for mayor. However, they did welcome a baby boy and are in the midst of planning a huge wedding, which I'm sure we're going to be seeing on the show, right? No question.
Oh my gosh, what a beautiful family they are, too.
Well,
Well,
she's
she's beautiful. She's another
Denim
model. Beautiful.
outfits, it's so cute.
Yeah. So one thing she said on this, she said that her daughter, like she calls her stepfather father. And I'm like, oh, because her real father is Kevin McCall, who's an R&B artist that's worked with Chris Brown and everything. He's a music producer. So I felt
Speaks
like
to the
that was kind of
relationship
weird.
there.
But that's kind of, yeah, but also like we talked about it last week with step siblings, like you don't say my stepsister, you say my sister. So maybe it's one of those
Does she just call both fathers father?
Maybe,
Like, I feel
if
like
she views them as both her father, then
Yeah.
maybe.
Interesting.
think
Well,
fathers
you know
don't
who
You
we,
don't want the OG to hear, but
you know who we haven't talked about yet? Who I feel like she rubs me the wrong way. Well,
Okay.
you got to help me out with this
Oh,
one. She's the most
I like
talked
that.
about Atlanta woman, and she's back. It's Portia. And just like in the past, she is so thirsty. Like she mentioned at the end of the episode in the season finale, how she's going to be the next housewife to be married. Now she's got her new man in her life, and it looks like it just may happen. On the premiere, she's whisked away to Miami, where she's anticipating a proposal. At least that's what she's telling anyone who will listen. Here she is talking to her sister once her sister arrived.
I'm not guessing anything.
I thought you're a good black man.
A good black man with no
black
children.
No children, no wife.
None, honey.
I love it.
Snatched them right on up off the market, honey.
And of course, we have to wait till next week to
It's not
find
a
out
ring.
what was in the
I
box.
think that was the worst tease ever. It's not a ring. He just gave her some jewelry, right?
Yeah, well,
They've been together for 5 months.
Wait, do you
see it
think
all
they
on
need to
social
draw it
media.
out throughout the whole season? Her still training
I
with
hope
it?
not. I really, right? If that's the storyline for this year, season
You guys,
11 is a
but
bust.
Like, you know I'm always an advocate for waiting, but for this, she looks so excited. Like, I truly want her to get this. Like,
Portia's
you get
excited
it, girl.
about
when
everything.
you're older, you know sooner. And like, I feel like
You think it could work?
Portia to me is always
She's pregnant right now. She's pregnant.
So we'll see how
5
things
months.
evolve.
Yeah.
5 months.
Yeah.
Felicia, 5 months.
Yeah.
This ain't gonna last. Come on.
I don't know.
Somebody else.
And do you want it to last?
No, I'm not a fan of Portia. I think every guy she clings to is the best guy ever. She's the
Well,
happiest
maybe
person
this
in
will
the
be the
world.
last one.
Oh, please.
We don't know.
Please. All right. Well, somebody who was noticeably missing, you speaking of pregnant, how about somebody who just had a baby? She was my favorite on the show. She's no longer on there. I love Kenya Moore. Kenya Moore
You
finally.
love the way she looks.
No, I love how everybody hates on this woman. Y'all are questioning, was she even pregnant? You were one of them.
I was.
Question if this woman was even pregnant. That's how much
I
hate
was.
people hold for
that
Kenya.
wasn't hate. It was a question.
If somebody
Well, it
comes in and says,
happens.
I'm pregnant, you go, I don't know, is she lying? That's a whole nother level of shade going on right
Let's
there.
not act like she hasn't done shady things on the show. Like, I'm only responding to the person that she's shown us who she is.
Well, she is a mother, and we're really excited
Yes,
for her.
we are.
That story will not be playing out on Bravo because she's removed herself from the show.
Yeah.
Did you don't think it's a little weird? This baby is born on season premiere night.
So what do
You don't think that's weird?
You think
Well,
Andy
there
Cohen's
were-
pulling some strings here?
I think this baby was scheduled to be born on season
Felicia,
premiere
you
night.
gotta
And they're
stop.
just saying
It could have been born tomorrow. It could have been born yesterday.
conspiracy theorist over here.
Oh, my
It was
gosh.
definitely induced labor on the premiere
convenient.
of the show, Dave.
Well, make sure you tune in each Sunday, everybody, because we're going to be breaking it down on Monday. So get with us so we can all have fun Monday morning talking about it. Catch it on Bravo at 7 p.m. on Sundays.